Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. We're so glad to welcome you as part of our community tonight. Please note that this webinar is being recorded and distributed live stream. By entering this virtual meeting room, you give your consent to be recorded and distributed by Vienna Live with Simeon Morrow and other third parties. If you wish to not be recorded, please go to the LinkedIn live video feed, the link to which I've just placed in the chat room. Tonight, our featured guest is jazz vocalist Sylvia Brooks, whose new album, Soliloquy, will be the subject of tonight's conversation.
I'm told can be both hot and cold, but how is one to know which way to go? A in the eyes, but how is one to know when the whole world is full of such lies?
Welcome, Sylvia.
Thank you. Hi, Simeon. How are you?
Sylvia, so tell us a little bit about where you come from, how your musical tastes were formed, and the moment you decided, wow, I'm going to be a jazz singer.
Well, it chose me. I didn't really choose it. My father was a jazz piano player. And so when I was a little girl, I would be toddling around the house and he would be rehearsing with his trio or whatever. And then my mother was an opera singer. So I ended up kind of being doubly cursed, as they say. And I think that, music has always been deep inside of me. I chose to really kind of lean more into classical theater initially because I fell in love with language and writing and I wanted to do Shakespeare and Chekhov and Bernard Shaw and all the great writers. But then when my dad died, I thought, I really, I was going through his archives for his funeral. And I thought, I really need to give this a shot. And here I am 6 albums later, 16 years later. And that's kind of how it came to be.
Wow. So he didn't even know that you were going to pursue a career as a jazz singer.
No, he didn't know. He didn't know. And it kind of breaks my heart a little bit. I mean, he would work with me before I really did this. I remember he would work with me on Lush Life. He said, honey, don't sing that song. That's just really a difficult song. The intervals are very difficult. But no, he never really has heard any of my music. I mean, who knows? Maybe he is listening. Who knows?
Let's have a listen to our next track then. This is Fragile.
Flesh and steel are one, drying in the color of the evening sun. Tomorrow's rain but something in our minds will always stay. Perhaps this final act was meant to clinch a lifetime's argument that nothing comes from violence and nothing ever could. For all those born beneath an angry star, lest we forget how fragile we are. On and on the rain will fall like tears from a star, like tears from a star. On and on the rain will say how fragile we are, how fragile we are. On and on the rain will fall like tears from a star, like tears from a star. On and on the rain will say how fragile we are, how fragile we are.
Powerful. Tell us the story about this new album, Soliloquy. What's it all about?
Well, first of all, I have to say that was the brilliant vocal arranging by Christian Jacob and the amazing Grant Geissman on guitar. So what was Soliloquy all about? Sometimes projects come to be that you don't really understand why you're creating them. I know that I get very touched by things that I see and hear that I don't always understand why it's affecting me that way, right? So I'll make some notes, and then when I start to put an album together, I'll go back and I'll say, I want to write about this subject, or I want to do this. And as we were putting the album together, I really realized it's really about our own humanity and kind of how we all struggle with our own fights within ourselves. Each song really kind of taps into that, whether it's Soul Eyes, the difficulty of becoming intimate with someone else, letting them inside. Talk's a Good Game, which is about a womanizer that is unable to do that, right? So we all kind of have our own struggles. And in putting the album together, I really wanted it to reach people. That was really my ultimate goal,
Wow. And this last track we just heard, Fragile. So it's got the choir on there. It's, again, speaking from a very intimate point of view, but also it seems to be also from a community point of view. Is that fair to say?
Absolutely. Yeah. Yeah. I mean, we all struggle with violence, and we struggle with war and all the things that humanity struggles with, right? So, and to me, that song really is about that. It's about our own fragility,
Let's have a listen to our next track. This is A Letter to Sophie.
A tattered hotel nap napkin on a table by the bed. As she picks it up slowly, she remembers what he said. For many months they've met here in the shadows of the day. She lays in anticipation, his touch carries her away. A letter to Sophie, so indulgent and unfair, seedy in its elegance, damaging beyond repair. The shutters slightly open, lights falling through the cracks. She smells his scent and cigarettes and decaying lilacs. As she reads what's on the napkin, his writing is pathetic, leaving much to be desired. Oh, he used to be poetic. A letter to Sophie, so indulgent and unfair, seedy in its elegance, damaging beyond repair.
Lovely. How did you choose the musicians on this album? You were mentioning the pianist as he seems to have a very special place in this album as a co-creator. Tell us, what do you look for in a musician? How did you choose them? I believe we even have a choir, as we were mentioning before.
We have an 8-piece vocal choir on Fragile, yeah, led by the incomparable Michelle Jensen. Well, to me, I've worked with Christian Jacob now. This is actually our 4th project together. And we co-write together. So I will give him lyrics and then he will take them and he will put something together down for it. And then, he'll do his brilliance of arranging that he does. And I think that what we really wanted on this album when we talked about it was to find musicians who have, of course, a remarkably high level of skill in their playing, but also the ability to be very sensitive and nuanced in their work. Because, I believe in a live recording. We don't get tracks from somebody that's in Canada and mix them in. We all go in there and we work together to birth this creation, so to speak, right? So we wanted to find musicians like Farzin. I always have trouble saying his name, Farzin, the amazing saxophone player. He brought stuff to this that we really didn't even anticipate, and Kevin Axt, that I've worked with Kevin many times. He's absolutely a consummate musician. Grant Geissman, Kevin Winard, me, of course, and Christian on piano. So, it was an intimate group. It was only 5 musicians plus the vocal choir on one song. So.
And did you guys, that's a lot of pressure saying, okay, we're all going to do this as a team right now. We're not going to outsource and get tracks from Canada. You guys, how do you deal with that kind of tension when there's some issues that arise? Because I know you guys are on the clock.
Well, no, actually, it never seems to go that way. Christian will write out the arrangements. He gives them to everybody because they're such good musicians. They're studio musicians. They pick things up very quickly. And before we would start recording any song, I would really explain the backstory to them, what the song is about. Because a lot of times musicians don't look at the lyric; they look at the music. They don't really pay attention to the story of the song. So, before we would start to record a particular piece, I would go out and explain to them the core of where it came from and kind of what it's there for, right? And then they take whatever they're given and then they put their own artistry into it. And then we end up with what we end up with. So it flows very well. Nobody ever feels pressured. Yeah.
And you mentioned that on Fragile, the guitarist played a beautiful solo. Could you hear that sentiment that you were trying to express through the solo? Was that
Oh,
was that
yeah.
one of those points when you said, listen, this is what this is all about?
Right, right. And he played, and then we went into the mixing room and we listened to it play back, and I'm like, oh my God, that's so wonderful. I didn't say anything. I don't tell people what to do. I produce, but it's like I believe you bring the right people together and then you let them do what they do, right? So that's very important. You don't want to ever stifle someone's creativity.
Let's have a
So,
listen to our next track. This
okay.
is Lizzie's Dance.
Oh.
She danced with pure abandon, unfamiliar, unconcerned, out of passion, out of dreams, out of step with what she learned. She moves unlike the others. She moves just like the moon, a whimsical expression, illuminating out of tune. Imagination, she dances in rhythm and time. Limitations, she colors outside of the lines. Lizzie's my name. As they dance around me, I'm like them in my frame of mind. They move left, I move to the right. Look at me, I'm Lizzie. Lizzie's my name. They stand to applaud me. I have my own rhythm and rhyme. They go their way and I go mine. I'm Lizzie.
And this brings us to the philosophical part of our conversation. Quote, while watching a group of 8-year-olds at a dance recital, I noticed that one girl was doing everything wrong. At first, as a spectator, having been a trained dancer myself, I could not understand what on earth she was doing up there. And then I noticed she had Down's syndrome. And in an instant, my reaction turned from displeasure and judgment to tears. It became clear to me how much courage she had, and I needed to tell her story. End quote. Why did you need to tell the story of Lizzie? And is art music, as we mentioned before in our conversation, you want musicians who have a lot of skill, whom you don't need to manage, whom you can just tell the meanings of the lyrics. Does this art music, is this meant for people with disabilities who do their own things?
I'm not really sure. I mean, I just know that when I had that experience, it surprised me. Um, I felt one thing one minute and she turned me completely on my head, you know. And I thought, you know, to have her mother put her up there with these other little girls, it just made me cry. It still makes me cry. I get very emotional about it. And I thought, you know, I have to tell this story. You know, and I do think that people with disabilities a lot of times are not seen in the proper light, you know. You know, and that was a realization that I had. I was judging her, and I didn't really realize that she had an impairment. And as I said, as you read, so eloquently read, when it actually hit me, what was really going on, it really made me rethink a lot of that. So I do think that people with disabilities could be portrayed more in kinder ways and in more musical ways. I do think so. Yeah.
And is art music then these productions where everything is perfect, everyone's kind of in line with another? Do you think is there a place for people with disabilities, or should they form their own bands or their own groups, or is there a way to also include them? Do you think they have something to contribute?
Sure, as long, you know, I think that, you know, that's tricky. It's like we talk about the Olympics, right? They can't compete as a full-on athlete can, but they have the Paralympics, right? They have the Olympics. And I believe there is an orchestra that has been created for people with disabilities so that they are all kind of working toward the same goal. You know, it depends on the disability, I think, you know, and it depends on their level of skill, a lot of things like that. I don't know. I've never really thought about hiring someone with a disability before musically, because I don't know anybody that is, you know, plays that way. I should ask. That's a good question, Simeon. I'm going to find out.
Well, thank you so much for considering such a difficult question. I really appreciate it.
It's a tricky one. Yeah, it is.
So let's listen to our final selection of the evening. This is Instinct of Love. Instinct of Love.
Silver spoon. Life has always been easy, but something is stirring inside. Nothing seems to please me. And champagne makes me want to disappear. Then suddenly I see him. He's primal, has no fear. It's not butterflies I'm chasing, it's the instinct of love. It's not the butterflies of infatuation, it's the instinct of love. Was laid out for me, but it didn't feel real. I knew something must change. cage. Being untamed is his appeal. It isn't lust I feel. There's no way to explain it. It's a much deeper response. He has come to claim it. It's not butterflies I'm chasing. It's the instinct of love. It's not the butterflies of infatuation. It's the instinct of love.
Are there any questions? Would anyone like to jump in? Dr. Davis would. Hi, Dr. Davis.
How are you all?
Hi
Wow.
there.
Hi there, Sylvie. That really, listening to all these songs, the 4 songs I think that Sim put up there, do you write all the lyrics yourself?
I didn't write Fragile or Soul Eyes, but I did write Instinct of Love, Lizzie's Dance, and A Letter to Sophie. I wrote the lyrics on those 3. Yes.
Are you a philosophy student also?
Well, it's funny. When I was in high school, I took philosophy because I was kind of a little brainiac kid in terms of language. And so I did take philosophy.
Where did you go to high school?
Interesting question. I went to high school down in Miami. I went to an experimental school down in Miami, Florida.
Very nice. Nice songs, nice singing. And I really like all the words. That's they make a lot of sense. I used to listen to music like that in the I don't know, help me out, Sim, 1970s and before, 1950s maybe. I don't want, my age is a terrible thing to talk about. So
no, it is not. It is not.
I'll sign you up.
You have a wealth of knowledge, sir.
Well, thank you. And so do you. Your ability for singing and putting words together really is the top of the line. Keep it up.
Thank you so much. Thank you.
You're
That
welcome.
means a lot to me. Thank you.
Thanks, Dr.
Thanks, Sim.
Davis. And so, final question: what do you wish all of us who listen to this album, if indeed your father is tuning in today, what would you like him to take away from this experience?
I just hope that one of these songs reaches down inside of you and that all of a sudden you're having your own experience and it's not really about me. That's always my hope, is that my music really reaches deep down into someone and it makes them feel something they didn't understand. So.
Well, if I may say, I believe you. Mission accomplished.
Thank you. Thank you.
Let's see how we can buy the album. It's at sylviabrooks.com, and you can listen to it. You can get it on Spotify, Apple Music. You've got the track listings. All of the information is available at sylviabrooks.com. And Sylvia, if we want to stay in touch with you, we just click on contact.
Correct. And you can reach out to my manager and then he will relay everything to me. So
Perfect. So feel free to reach out to Sylvia at sylviabrooks.com under contact. Thank you so very much to Sylvia Brooks.
Thank you, Simeon. Bye.
And before we go, I'd like to bring your attention to Vienna Live's website, simeonmorrow.com, and bring your attention to our sponsorship campaign that's going on right now. For $5 a month, you will receive one Vienna Live Celebrates 5 Years mug. For $10 a month, you will receive one Vienna Live Celebrates 5 Years mug and one Vienna Live City tote bag. There is no minimum sponsorship under one-time payment custom. All sponsorships ensure that Vienna Live continues to operate as a free music public service. And coming up next week, we have Brian Wood's Prokofiev's Miniatures for Piano. Following the success of his acclaimed debut album Wanderings, pianist Brian Woods offers a striking re-examination of Sergei Prokofiev's short-form piano works in Prokofiev Miniatures. The album features 3 collections, Vision Fugitive, Tales of an Old Grandmother, and Sarcasms, each revealing a distinct facet of Prokofiev's biting irony and lyrical nostalgia. For Woods, these are not marginal encores, but central expressions of a radical modernist voice. Again, that is next Wednesday, Brian Woods, Prokofiev Miniatures, and all information about upcoming shows may be found at simeonmoro.com. Once again, thank you so very much to Sylvia Brooks. Thank you to Vienna Live's corporate and individual sponsors, including Parma Recordings. Your ongoing support allows Vienna Live to operate as a free classical public music service. Thanks to my cousin Mike, a marketer from Layer App. If you're an architect or an engineer, they have a really cool tool you should check out. And of course, most of all, thanks to you, our participants, who make it all worthwhile. From Washington, D.C. and Los Angeles, California, goodbye, and see you next Wednesday.
Thank you, Simeon.